we'll give it a couple minutes. You guys are a couple minutes early. This is the 2:05 media availability press conference for Gonzaga, as the 5th seed Bulldogs will be taking on the 12th seed McNeese Cowboys in the first round of the NCAA tournament tomorrow afternoon at 5:25 Mountain Time, 7:25 Eastern here in Salt Lake City at the Delta Center. Joined on the dais today by Ryan Nemhard, Graham Ike, and Anton Watson. And we'll open up questions for our student athletes.
Jim from the Spokesman Review for Anton and Graham. Can you talk about the clash of styles? You guys seem to have the three bigs and they're more guard-oriented, and the importance of trying to take advantage of it from your guys' end at both ends.
Yeah, I think that's just been a big focus in our practice of, for me and Graham, just being physical inside and, just getting to our post moves quick. They're probably going to try to throw some doubles at us or something, but it's two different styles of play. They play a lot of guards and, a lot of dribble drives. So me and Graham are probably going to have to guard a lot of guards and, play good defense. So I think it'll be a fun game.
Yeah, just going off that, we're just going to have to be physical, assert our will. We know the doubles will come probably from the baseline side, so just making the right read, taking care of the ball, and not getting in too much of an up and down pace.
Theo Lawson with the Spokesman Review. Ryan, kind of along the same lines about their guards. They bring a lot of pressure, force a lot of turnovers. What have you seen on film the last few days, and what's kind of the key in that matchup?
Like you said, they like to force turnovers, so obviously we just got to take care of the ball. Not make risky passes and just be 100% with the plays we're making. And then we saw that they like to switch a lot, so just be patient with our offense, take the right shots, and try and just take care of the ball. So, yeah.
John Kuhn, Associated Press. A little over a month ago, you guys were going into the game against Kentucky, considered a bubble team, and people were questioning, is Gonzaga going to make the tournament? Now, fast forward a month later, you're a 5 seed back in Salt Lake City. I mean, what's kind of that journey been like? When did things really kind of click this season, and you guys kind of got back to the Gonzaga way of success?
We'll have Ryan open that answer.
I think it's just been a process all year. We had a bunch of new guys that came to the program, a bunch of new guys that had to learn the system, and it just took a while for us to figure it out. I think Kentucky was a big turning point for us, where it just all came together and we finished out the game finally. I think everything then it's been pretty smooth, and we're just our camaraderie and our chemistry is at a high level right now, and we look forward to that, taking that into the tournament and 2 big games this weekend, hopefully.
Graham, Anton?
Yeah, the journey's been pretty fun with these guys and the staff and all. We kind of knew like early on it'd be some rough patches just with everybody being so new, having different roles, but we always stayed positive and was like, it's going to work itself out, and it did. Kentucky was definitely a big turning point in that, and ever since then, we've been skyrocketing.
Yeah, no, kind of what they said. It just took a while for us to really start clicking and, figuring each other out, how we play with each other. And I think that Kentucky game gave us a lot of confidence and momentum going forward. And, yeah, we just want to use that going into the tournament.
Right here.
Alex Vehar with the Salt Lake Tribune. You guys have a teammate in Nolan who played high school ball here. I mean, like 2 hours from this specific place, but in the state. First off, like, what has kind of his mood been like in anticipation of coming back here, and also what has he meant to you guys' team and to your success this season?
Yeah, I think first, obviously, it's probably just nice for him to get back in town and play in front of probably some people that he knows. But I think he's just excited to be back in the tournament with a good group of guys, and hopefully looking forward to getting 2 dubs. And then, sorry, what was the second part of your question?
What has his value been?
Yeah, he's been huge for us. I mean, I think he's been great for us this year. He's been super consistent, knocking down 3-ball and just doing whatever we need to do to win. And I feel like through ups and downs this year, he stayed consistent and always thought next play mentality. And he's just been a huge part of our team.
To second that, he has been a huge part of our team. He's been playing so many minutes, and just to see the level that he's playing at, it's amazing, honestly. I'm not sure. I haven't really talked to him about how it feels about coming back here. We've had a couple talks about him playing at Wasatch and what that was like, so it'd probably be enjoyable for him to be back here.
Yeah, I would just say Nolan's been a good leader this year. Especially from seeing him the last 2 years I played with him, just the way he stepped up and the way he's fought adversity. I think he's done like the best job I've ever seen him do this year. So yeah, I'm proud of him, and I think he's happy to be back in Utah, especially since we're in the tournament. So you can't complain about that.
For Ryan, you guys have run up against All-American guards. A lot of good guards along the way. What do you make of Wells's game and kind of his style, how he puts up the points and all the stats he does?
Yeah, obviously he's a really good player. We watched a bunch of film on him. Coaches gave us a lot of film on him. He's playing at a really high level right now, shooting the ball well, gets to the rim, scores at the rim. So he'll be a tough cover for us, but I think we have a pretty solid plan, and we're going to go in there confident like we always are. We played against good guards all year, and we have a good bunch of guards over here, so we take our guards over theirs.
Okay, we have a couple of participants here on Zoom. We'll give them an opportunity to take part if they'd like. If you have any questions for our student athletes, please use the raise hand button on your Zoom window. We'll see about getting you on. Okay, not seeing any. Do we have any other questions for our student athletes here in the room? All right, we'll excuse our student athletes. Gentlemen, thank you and good luck tomorrow. Coach Few will be on at 2:20, so in about 8 minutes. Yes, it is. Just for you. We will go ahead and first introduce Coach Few and have him give us an opening statement, then open up for questions.
Well, hey, we are absolutely ecstatic and overjoyed to be back in the tournament, I think, for 25th straight time, which is we certainly don't take it for granted up at our place and in our program. And to me, that's one of the greatest things we've done during this entire run is to qualify and be part of the greatest sporting event in the world for 25 straight years. And again, I just think I was so proud of our guys. There was a time this year where maybe that thing was in a little bit of jeopardy, and they fought like crazy last 4 or 5 weeks of the season and put us in great position to get here again. So we're fired up.
John Kuhn, Associated Press. Coach Few, looking at just kind of how the season played out, you obviously had some key transfers that you brought in, a lot of new parts, new faces to mesh together early in the season. At what point did it feel like it really clicked and these guys kind of figured things out and figured out what they needed to do to win and get back to the tournament?
I mean, I think it probably mid-January is it started kind of coming together. I think kind of lost in all this, especially when you have guys that are, leaving for the NBA and you have an iconic player like a Drew Timme that's just such a huge entity in every facet of your program. There's a real adjustment period, I think, even that I underestimated. And the best thing I can say about this group is they just hung in there, and they hung in there and kept working and stayed together. They're a very tight-knit group, and I think staff kind of figured out best schemes, best actions, best things we can do defensively with the group and rotations, and then they started understanding how to play together. I mean, you got to remember Graham Ike didn't play the year before; he took the entire year off, and Ryan Nemhart was new coming in, and guys were playing different roles. We obviously leaned on Anton Watson a lot harder, and he's been fantastic all year. So there was a real adjustment period. We switched up our lineup a little bit then too, and played the three bigs, with Ben in there, and we've been kind of rolling with that ever since.
Hey, Coach, Eddie Pels with AP. We're having kind of a Dan Monson love-in this week, and I just wanted to kind of get your thoughts. First of all, have you ever seen anything this weird the way it played out, and also just kind of your thoughts about him as a coach and a guy?
Well, wow, we could be here all day with all that. But first of all, just couldn't be happier. I mean, my wife actually filmed us the last seconds of, it was excruciating, probably the last 30 seconds of the Big West Championship game, when they won, and our whole family was there going crazy. So just absolute pandemonium. I think he's got so many friends in the profession, and obviously families are close, and so fired up. And then when he got sent here, it's a tough one because he's playing another member of the family and Tommy. But we had a great night last night. I tell you, some of those things that are probably every bit as big a moments in your career. We had my whole family, the Lloyds, the Munsons, and then all the people that have worked for us that are intertwined over the years. We were able to get together for dinner last night, and it was great. So he's a great coach. Okay, he's what now? He's led 3 different teams to the NCAA tournament, multiple occasions. He's an unbelievable guy. He's the sole reason why I got into this profession. He got me into it, and gave me the opportunity. So my career never would have even happened if it wasn't for Dan Monson. So hey, I think it's a story worthy of a Disney show or something, man. The way it's playing out, And I'm hoping it's a lesson for all those athletic directors out there to maybe take pause once in a while and realize, these jobs are hard, and sometimes when you got a good guy there, you hang with it. So.
Hey, Mark Vahe, Gregorian, Kansas City Star. Also related to Dan, I just wonder your thoughts about how he's handled this. It seems to have made a bit of a ripple and a statement in itself, the way he's dealt with it.
It's been unbelievable. I'm so proud of him for that. And I mean, I watched how he's handled it, and I just admire how there's no bitterness whatsoever. He's just handled it in a real classy way. And I can't say the same maybe for Long Beach State. It's ridiculous. It is, health insurance and things like that. When you lose your job, everybody out there in the real world usually gets an extended deal with, stuff like that for a while and everything. And so I think, I don't want to get into the weeds on that stuff, but it's been remarkable. It's something I think we all can take a lesson from as coaches to kind of, hey, just he's grateful for the experiences he's had, and feels very, very blessed to have had all these years coaching college basketball, which is, I feel the same way about my career.
Coach, this kind of seems like a little bit of a mashup of styles. You guys run the three bigs. They've got their star guard, a little guy, Shahade Wells. Just kind of, how do you see that playing out? And obviously with Graham as a All-American honorable mention as well.
Yeah, hey, listen, Will's done an incredible job building this program up, and to get 30 wins. And then when you start watching them play, you can see why. Very, very opportunistic defense that can turn you over, and they like to run like we run, and they can really convert turnovers into baskets. They do a great job with that. Their defense is extremely disruptive. It's not what you see every day. They'll switch everything and swarm to the ball, and you'll see them doubling our posts really, really hard tomorrow. Kind of page out of the Chris Beard when he was at Texas Tech, so we've dealt with it there, and even when we played Baylor a couple times and Texas, so our guys have kind of dealt with it a little bit, but very good there, and then spread you out at the other end, and those guards are lightning quick, and they got some really nice three-point shooters, and then Shoemade inside reminds us a lot of we have a really good player in our league called Jonathan Mogbo, who can really, really athletic, explosive around the rim, and just dunks everything, and so I think our guys are kind of used to that. So we're prepared for quite a battle. So it's going to be interesting, the kind of little bit of contrast in styles.
There we go. Alex Fair with the Salt Lake Tribune. What has Nolan meant to your team, especially this season? And considering that he played his high school basketball here in the state, have you seen any extra anticipation for him getting to start the tournament here?
I don't know about that. He's excited, like our whole team is, to play in, just the NCAA tournament. Obviously, the fact that we were a little bit somewhat out west here, that's easier for his friends and family to get to. But Nolan's had a really, really good year. He's grown up a lot. I think he's done a good job of being a little more even-keeled. A lot of times last year he's kind of an emotional roller coaster, usually based on performance. And now he's leveled off a little bit as far as just being there for us night in and night out, irregardless of maybe how his offense is going. So there's been some huge steps leadership-wise and just kind of mental growth-wise.
Mark, Bruce Pascoe with the Arizona Daily Star. I was just following up on what you were saying before about your guys you've worked with. There was, I think, before you moved up to a 5, there was some projections that you and Boise State would be in a 7-10, and then there'd be Long Beach and Arizona in a 2-15. Yeah. Were you worried about that? Do you even think about that kind of stuff?
My kids were all over that stuff, and they were, hey, look, you don't want to have to play, friends in this deal, and it's hard. And when there's so many, you got to remember, my kids and Leon's kids were basically raised together, as were mine and Tommy's kids. And, we have overlap of people working for us. And so we're all big fans of each other's programs and great friends and all that. So, some of those brackets were like, whoa. And then, heck, you got Tad and Billy, Tad, Billy, and Leon playing tonight. All have connections with me and us and Gonzaga and all that. So, we seem to be the ones that luckily were unscathed and escaped the Gonzaga family feud or whatever we're calling it. So.
Coach Jay Catch-McKiss, Sports Zone. I wanted to ask you, does you guys having played BYU as often as you did during their era in the West Coast Conference help you at all playing here in Utah?
Not really. I don't know. But, man, they've had a heck of a year. They've been just exceptional. Basically the same team that was in our league last year, and they've done a great job just on the national spectrum, but also just grinding it out in that league night in, night out. The only thing I'd say is we're very used to what we did today. We stay in Salt Lake usually when we played BYU, so we're used to kind of practicing at Utah and hotels and restaurants and everything around here. So.
Yeah, Mark, Steve Rivera, allsportstucson.com. Those of us who covered Tommy for the last 3 years kind of got a feel of who he is. Who was the Tommy you inherited many years ago?
Just a funny story. Like, that was one thing when Dan and I were going through the transition was, last little piece about 2 or 3 weeks in, I just called him like, Munz, what the heck's the deal with this guy? He said you told him, he could be a grad 8 here, and it was unbeknownst to me, and he's just kind of hanging out. So, and he explained that he did, and at that time, Gonzaga wasn't quite as resource rich as maybe we are now, and so I said great, and then it just turned out to just be just the greatest gift ever, right? Because Tommy's had a huge impact on our program and on us, and obviously the relationship, our families, our wives are best friends, our kids are best friends, and all that. So
just a quick follow-up. You're probably not surprised of his success to this point?
Not at all. Yeah, no, not at all. No, not at all. Yeah, he was, and he spent a long, and he grew during that time, obviously a lot, and now he's, implemented a lot of the, same kind of style of play and everything we do kind of down there. And it's been such a seamless transition there. It's been really, really impressive.
I could just ask one more annoying Arizona question, but I believe
this is turning into an Arizona press conference here. Let's talk about Lute for a while. Yeah. You want to? Great.
Well, the thing is, like, when Tommy got the job, he inherited a game. He was supposed to play at your place that first season, his first season. Mm-hmm. Obviously, that was postponed. Do you think that game would ever be played, or in light of what you're saying, maybe not?
Who knows? I don't know. Like I said, I don't like playing friends, especially ones that are that close to the program. And so, at this point in my career, I don't know why we'd put our wives and kids through that. So, but who knows?
Hey, Brendan Quinn from The Athletic. There's anxieties out there about tournament expansion and all of these things, and whether it helps or hurts smaller schools, non-power conference schools. Just wonder if you have any thoughts on the entire discussion that's out there.
I started this press conference with. I think it's the greatest sporting event out there. I really, really do, so that gives me pause to want to change it. If it's not broke, don't fix it. But I also think, everything around us is changing so fast. I read some comments from Coach K the other day that I thought were really, wise to just maybe just take a pause and let's see where everything's going before we, just start changing and overreacting. And that I kind of agree with that. That'd probably be the most prudent thing. But, I also know that sometimes if you're not changing and adapting, you get left behind. So I think we just got to be very cognizant of what's going on and not overreact to everything. We certainly, in my opinion, overreacted a lot in this NIL and transfer stuff, and now we're in a messy spot there. So I think we just got to take a deep breath and wait and see what happens.
There's certainly messaging or concerns, whatever it may be, that there is, a few power conferences making decisions that will impact everyone, 360 plus schools. I just wonder how you feel the non-power conference programs are represented in that conversation.
I mean, I feel great. I talk to Greg Sankey all the time. So, yeah, I mean, hey, first of all, I think he's a great leader, and I think he's very cognizant of that. I think he's cognizant of what's going on and how the effect of basketball is and how the tournament is. So, and certainly, again, I think this thing is so great and so big. I think cooler heads will prevail, and we'll do anything and everything to keep this thing as close as we can to what makes it special. And if we have to make some tweaks, we make some tweaks.
You have a question right there? No? Okay. Let's check the Zoom. We have 3 members of the media on Zoom. See if they have any questions for Coach Few. If you do, please use the raise hand button on your Zoom window, and we will turn the time over to you if you have any questions. Okay, seeing none, do we have any more questions for Coach Few here in the room? Okay. Thank you, Coach.
Yep.
Congratulations. Good luck tomorrow.
Yeah, you got it. Yep.
Appreciate it. Thanks, man.